everybody, Matt Modi here with OddsJam. What we're going to do in this video, we are going to lock in some NBA best bets for today, Wednesday, April 19th. Looking at OddsJam, hopping on the OddsJam tools, looking at the NBA playoff betting slate, and finding the best bets for today. As for me, again, my name is Matt Modi with OddsJam. If you want to find me on social media, you can. And my Twitter handle you see on the screen right around here. But we can get right into it. So today's NBA playoff slate, 3 games. 2 of them should be pretty good, hopefully. Grizzlies versus Lakers, Bucks versus Heat, Nuggets versus Timberwolves. Now, obviously, the big news here are the injuries to Ja Morant and Giannis. My guess, Ja Morant doesn't play, listed as doubtful. Unlikely that he plays. Giannis is also currently listed as doubtful. I actually think he is going to suit up, just knowing him and how quickly he normally recovers. But we'll have to monitor that. But for this video, I got 4 bets for you guys to hammer, 3 player props, 1 main prop, which is a total. And let's get into it. Play number 1. We are looking at the Heat versus Bucks game, and we are locking in this total to go under 219.5. This is at minus 110 odds at DraftKings. So I locked this one in on DraftKings, as you can see right here. Under 219.5, I put 1 unit on this one, risk to win a unit, I should say. So risk $110 to profit 100. The reason why I like this play, just look at how wide swings there are for this total. And you also want to make sure that you highlight the sharp sports books when you are doing that. So this total right here that we see, the under 218, this is from Pinnacle Sportsbook, labeled as Penny, as you can see right here. Sharpest sportsbook in the world prices this total at 218 while still favoring the under, right? We see the DraftKings number at 219.5. We see the Pinnacle number at 218 with the under as the more expensive play. So right off the bat, really, really good value. Looking at the other sportsbooks, we see another sharp sportsbook price this at 219. That's a half point better. While favoring the under, we see other sharp sportsbooks have it at 219, like Circa Vegas, very sharp book. Then we see another sharp sportsbook, Circa Sports. They're 2 different ones, but one's sharper than the other, but have this at 217.5, 2 full points lower. It's just insane the value you can get when you just line shop across all of the different sports books. Now, looking at this play, Heat versus Bucks, 219.5. We're taking the under, obviously. I just think that the Heat are really, really going to struggle to score points without Tyler Hero. Even if Giannis doesn't play, all-world defender in Giannis, even if he doesn't play, the Bucks still have a really good defensive team, and the Heat is just going to be really, really difficult for them to find offense in this game. So without Giannis, I still do like the Bucks to cover, but there's really no value on that play, as you can see. But there is a really good value on the under 219.5, minus 110 at DraftKings. So that is what we are going to go with. Play number 1. Play number 2, I found using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page. We are sticking with the Heat versus Bucks, and we are taking Brook Lopez to go over 1.5 made 3-pointers, plus 145 odds at bet365. So this is another play that I locked in. I put 3/4 of a unit on this one. I put $75, which is kind of how I've been unit sizing mostly. Like for a plus money play like this, I'll risk 75 on a player prop. But the value here is really good. Bet365 offering it at plus 145. And we see the no vig odds in this column here, price this at plus 134. These odds you see in the no vig odds column, you can view them as the perfect line of what a sportsbook should be priced at, right? The perfect line of this specific market, the Brook Lopez threes, all the way down at plus 134. And then just look at where the other sportsbooks price it. We see BetMGM and BetRivers kind of close at plus 135. Caesars, kind of close, not really, at plus 129. Every other book, plus 116, plus 125, plus 122, plus 125, Pinnacle at plus 108. We're getting a really, really good price here at Bet365. And the Bucks, without Giannis, even with Giannis, they're going to need Brook Lopez's shooting. You know, it was an off game for the Bucks in game 1. They're kind of notorious for that, starting series slow. Obviously, no Giannis makes that a little more complicated, but they're going to need Brook Lopez to shoot, and his ability to stretch the floor is huge for their offense. So I really like this play, Brook Lopez over 1.5 made 3-pointers, plus 145 odds at Bet365. Next up, we are going to the Lakers versus Grizzlies. We are locking in Rui Hachimura to go under 11.5 points, minus 125 odds, again at bet365. So I ended up putting a full unit on this one, risk to win 80, so just above 3/4 of a unit in terms of the winnings for this one. But it's another play that's really good. It's a little bit juiced, which is why I put a little bit more on it at minus 125, but it's still a really good play. OddsJam perfect line pricing this at about minus 130.5 essentially. So there is a 5.5 cent gap between these two books. And just compare the bet365 odds, right? We see like some insane numbers. FanDuel minus 172, Caesars minus 148, DraftKings minus 140, minus 186, minus 159. Now Hachimura went off in game one for like 28, 29 points, something like that. Generally not his game, generally not a good scorer. And just because he went off in game one, this is almost like the zigzag method in the NBA. Basically what happens in one game, you basically want to bet the opposite of that in the next one. Because everybody's going to be saying, oh, he went off this game, his total's only at 11.5, let's hammer is over. When really the positive EV play is on the under. And the Grizzlies even said it. I think it was Desmond Bain said that, like, if someone like Hachimura is going off for 28 or 29 points, they're not going to bet on him to be able to do that consistently. And neither are we. So we are taking him to go under 11.5 points, minus 125 odds at bet365. And the last play I found using the OddsJam low holds page, we're locking in Jokic to go under 23.5 points, minus 110 odds, again at bet365. So a low hold is essentially when you can place a bet on both sides for as close to a 0% hold as possible. Sometimes you do get a 0% hold. And when there's a situation like that, where there's a pretty big outlier between opposite sides of the same bet, right? Like the over and the under, generally one of these sides is mispriced. And in this case, there is some value on Jokic to go under 23.5. But the reason why I like this one is if you view the event page and open it in a new tab, it pulls up the full market for where every sportsbook is pricing this play. And as we can see, majority of sportsbooks price his total a full point lower at 22.5. And some of them even have that as like a 50-50 outcome, right? Even though they have it at a full point lower, they have it priced like minus 115 each way, minus 115 each way. So we are getting a pretty good price on Jokic to go under 23.5 points, minus 110 odds at bet365. Now, he only had like 14 points in game one. I'm not necessarily expecting him to go that low, but I also don't think that the Nuggets really need Jokic to score. His passing, his playmaking is such a valuable weapon, and this is not a series where they're going to need Jokic to go off. The Timberwolves are very clearly severely outmatched in this series. Now, I'm not expecting every single game like game one to be a blowout. I also don't think this is going to be a series where Jokic needs to take on a huge scoring role. We saw him really become deferential as a scorer to end the season, and it's not a bad thing for the Nuggets. His passing is an incredible weapon. Sometimes they're better when Jokic isn't trying to find his own shot. Not that he can't do it. He's very good at doing it, but in some certain situations, he doesn't need to. And this is a perfect situation where he doesn't need to. So play number 4, my fourth and final play for this video, Jokic under 23.5 points, minus 110 odds at bet365, and that is going to be it. So if you're tailing these 4, comment and let me know. Other than that, please remember to hit me up at my Twitter handle you see on the screen here. A link to it is also in the description of the video as well. And that's it. So I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.